We're live.
All right. Let me share, present the screen here. All right. Well, welcome to our first developer sync of 2025. It is 20. I got the year right, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Um, so, it's been about a month, I think, since we've all got together and kind of discussed where we're at. I hope everybody had a good break over the holidays and is back and ready to keep building coming up this year. So, I guess as a beginning, kind of the general updates, I just take a minute to kind of talk about what we're going to be focused on in the first quarter of 2025. So the primary focus, and I guess you could say maybe even the entire focus, is going to be on phase two launch of the network. And what is phase two launch? Well, practically speaking, it's a couple of things. One is going to be, I'm sure everybody's looking forward to, is going to be the enabling of token transfer. So it's when we'll be fully live, have a live token, and all the things that come along with that. Also, it's going to be the launch of the kind of decoupled execution framework. So we'll be launching our EVM domain, in which we'll be able to add, another layer of usability to the network with smart contracts. But beyond kind of those two things, it is also going to be, really focused on giving usability to the network. So what's that mean? Things that you've seen us working on recently, Auto Drive, which is going to be really driven by the Auto Files Gateway, which we'll be hearing a little bit more about here in a minute from Carlos. It's going to be the Auto SDK and taking all of the ways in which you can interact with the network and making it super simple and clear how to use that to build. I know Emil has been beyond just the development of the SDK, which the whole team's been working on. Emil has been hard at work at a real docs upgrade that I think is going to make usability even better with that. And then finally, the third thing that's kind of been newer on the scene is going to be our agents framework. So the Autonomous Agents framework. The first version of that went live over the break. You'll be hearing from Saeed more on what we've done and what we'll be doing along with on that. So yeah, I guess with that, I'm still getting used to StreamYard. Mark, how are we doing this? We just going to move person from stage. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
here's Jim. Ecosystem updates, or community updates.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see Mark's opted to bring us in and out, which is it's nice and smooth, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. So updates from the community, guys. So hot topics that we have, as usual, not a great deal. There are a couple of things. So there is kind of what looks like it could be an issue developing a common theme around issues with the cluster cache sync. So what's happening there is or at least the reports that I've seen are that it is the logs are saying that it's syncing immediately, but then plotting is very slow. So obviously an immediate sync is a little bit suspicious on a fresh system, but then when the plotting's slow as well, almost as if all the pieces are being downloaded from the DSN rather than the cache. There could be something there, but you know what you can do to help us get it, guys, is provide us with as much detail as you can. There is a forum thread that I've seen has been contributed to today. Please do pop your experience on that thread if you're experiencing the issue. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm Jim Autonomys in Discord if you are struggling to find a thread, and I'll point you in the right direction. Other than that, we have had some issues with Astral. I know that Mark's going to talk on Astral a little bit, but my understanding is that there's been an infrastructure problem, but that is now resolved. I can see that it was working this morning when I logged in, but I think there might be some delay until we're fully recovered on all the latest data. I will defer to Mark if he wants to give us a little pointer on that later on. Okay. Okay, so specifically from the community team, as Jeremy teased earlier, Emil is, well, I don't want to steal his limelight, but Emil is leading the effort on the biggest update to developer docs ever seen. All of our builders can expect to see updates on this soon, but do please watch this space because there's some very exciting developments on the dev docs. We will be holding farmer office hours on Wednesday. Get your alpha here. We will be talking on a number of subjects. We're going to be talking about, hopefully you saw it, but we're going to be talking a little bit on the 2024 Wrapped, all the amazing achievements we managed to get under our belts last year. We are also going to be talking about argument and some of our plans around getting more auto agents deployed. We're going to be talking about the roadmap to mainnet phase 2. Yes, that's right, the mainnet phase 2 roadmap. So please do join us. And then to round things out, we're going to be talking about vulnerability reporting, actually. So how to do that. And we're actually going to add vulnerability reporting or reports, verified reports to the contribution contest. I do want to point out that's not a replacement for our bug bounty plan, which are progressing with an established program provider, but it is something you may want to consider if you are digging around in our code and find something that may concern you. So yeah, that'll be at 1600 UTC, 4 p.m. UTC on Wednesday at the usual time. We'll look out for an announcement which will be going out probably in the next couple of hours. And finally, I just wanted to remind everyone that team are always available to answer questions in Discord, Telegram, and on the forum. We're always cruising. So yeah, that's the updates from community. Thanks very much, guys.
All right. I think next we have Ning. And go ahead, Mark, would you go ahead and leave me on this stage in case I have any interaction?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, on Autonomys, our main focus on Autonomys is mostly about performance issues that we met previously. We had done some benchmarking on EVM domains, and we had located some performance issues where when there's only like a few hundreds of transactions in the block, everything seems fine, but as the transaction number in the block go up like 1,000 or more, then the performance drop down significantly. And eventually with a full block with 8,000 of transactions, it may take like minutes to execute. And we have located two main cause of these issues. And if we just simply comment out the issue or just ignoring the issue, then a node to executing a full block or 8,000 transactions can be finished in 1.5 seconds, which is the ideally performance we wanted. And the first issue is more specific to the EVM domains and something actually related to the upstream code with frontiers, which we use to build our EVM domains. And I opened PRs that could fix this issue, like compared to if we just simply like comment out the issues. And with this PR that fix the issue, but only come with a few percent of performance overheads. And the maintenance of frontier also acceptable for this PR and probably should be merged in these 2 days after some corrections on the code. And another issue is more tricky. We have working on me and Red are hard working on this. And Red had already opened a PR for these issues, and which also improve the performance significantly, where we can executing like 2,000 transactions within 1 second, around 1 second. And I'm working on another solution to see if we can further improve this performance to what where we ideally can executing 8,000 transactions in 1.5 seconds. Yeah. Besides the domain performance issue, Tyria, our team's also working on refactoring the fraud pools to improve the story pool we use in fraud pool, and he also found and fixed issues related to the fraud pool verifications. yeah, this is the two main focus on domains. You are mute.
Sorry. I said, what did you say the performance had gone to now post the first stage of the storage root issue fix?
Yes.
What was the performance now? Did you say 2,000 transactions?
Yeah, 2,000
First
transactions
scan?
can be 2,000 or transactions can be executed in around 1 second.
Okay.
But what we want if we fix the issue perfectly, we can execute 8,000 transactions in 1.5 seconds.
Okay, great. And is that on the EVM or is that just using
this is applied
substrate
to
transfers?
all domains.
Okay.
For the EVM specific issue, I had a PR that should fix the issue. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, great to hear. A lot of progress being there, and clearly for our phase 2 launch, domains are critical. So it's great to see the progress being made. All right, let's go ahead and bring Carlos on.
Hi. So basically, the latest 4 weeks, my main focus has been on the Autonomys gateway. That for those that don't know, is basically the system in charge of retrieving files directly from the DSN with other components like caches and that kind of stuff. And basically, we recently launched internally our first version just to play around and test a little bit. And the first benchmarks has had come with the number of around 1 megabit per second of download bandwidth. But currently, my main focus is to investigate and research possible bottlenecks and how to increase this bandwidth. We have several approaches for increasing it. Basically, the more promising is batching the download of object mappings by piece, so a single piece has not to be downloaded multiple times, and also basically parallel scale horizontally the object fetchers that is on the protocol side, in charge of basically get from the DSN the actual objects. And yeah, that's kind of the numbers that we've got.
So that 1 megabits per second, that is from the DSN right to the gateway itself. From the gateway, once it's in the gateway and in the cache, it's much faster, of course, than for the user.
It's,
yeah. So
basically the number is actually if you download 100 files, that process might take like 5 minutes. What's the average bandwidth? It's the 1 megabit per second.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. Well, it's good to see the progress there. Is that going to be getting integrated soon into AutoDrive?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
I did forget that. I'm integrating that into AutoDrive. I'm really near to have it, but I'm yet testing locally.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Thanks.
Let's move on to Mark. I know he's been working on Astral API. Also, if you wouldn't mind giving a quick update on the Astral Explorer as well, as far as that Jim alluded to, that'd be great. You're muted.
Yes. So yesterday, when we noticed that Astral was not working properly, thanks to your help, we restarted the server, and I logged in and restarted the stack. So it's picking up the indexing as it had where it stopped. So I think last time I checked, it was like 7 hours or 6 hours behind. It should catch up during the day and be back on sync. We added as well, we started working on the API for Astral. So having a normal API to query accounts, query blocks, extrinsics, space pledge. And as I was asking to the community on the dev chat channel as well, whatever other information that seems to be good, any information that especially Astral already have, but just delivered the way that people want it, is up for grab. So we can add more endpoint. To that, I'm also adding a profile section to Astral to generate API keys and to be able to track the usage of that API, especially. And so that will be pushed into a big release soon, as soon as our backup server has also catch up to the head of the chain. That also include like a reskin of Astral as well to align with the Autonomys colors, and a fix to the leaderboard as well. That's yeah.
Great. All right. Well, it's good to see all of this. I know the API. You kind of just went out and started getting the requirements gathering there from the community. That's great. So looking forward to seeing that progress over the next few weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can we bring on Saeed?
Right. Yep. So we started to working on agents like about 1 month ago with a POC, and then Jeremy over the break turned it to a framework. And after that, we had like a huge improvements and rapidly working on improvements on this framework. And finally, it is live. So if you go to the GitHub page, to the issues, you will see all of the features that is undergoing, and the one that closed are already added and integrated with our agent. So right now, like we have the argument that if you go to its page, you will see that it goes through a process, fetching and seeing the tweets and going through a thought process and decide whether to engage or not, whether to answer, how to answer, and then it will like store all of the necessary information and thought process onto the DSN, and it will have like a chain of memories that it can resurrect itself if it's necessary in the future. So we are working on a lot of things right now to make it more efficient and more meaner, and with much more utilities beyond just entertainment on X. And yeah, it's pretty much it from my side. Like, Jeremy, if you want to add like the next steps.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a really fun project, I think, for Saeed and myself, and some others who've contributed. Mark, I see, added a couple of PRs this morning. So, right now it's kind of a toy, right? We're enjoying the entertainment value of it. I know I immensely enjoy watching argue with people, and it's pretty fun to watch people try to argue back with this bot and even get upset, because that's our nature, I guess. But beyond entertainment value, we are working on, how do we make real utility? We know that agents are going to be kind of the future of how probably everything is getting done, and where in that process does Autonomys kind of fit in? Whether it's in permanent decentralized storage, and as Saeed was alluding to, this kind of idea of being able to resurrect your agents, which essentially makes it immortal or unstoppable. Whether that means, on the inference side, and how do we kind of decentralize compute around that? And that's things we'll be working on in the future. Again, with this whole idea of being able to create these unstoppable agents. So that'll be kind of our next steps, is how do we broaden application beyond X and move from kind of entertainment to utility. How do we get, right now it's really just write only to the DSN, and it's kind of entertaining. You can go to 0xarguments.ai and see all of the kind of thought process of every tweet skipped, every tweet engaged. It's pretty fun, but how do we get beyond that to actual real utility, kind of using the DSN? that's not just write only, but read as well. We'll be working on that actually next. Is how do we really unleash the power of the DSN on this? So yeah, I think that's it for the agents framework. I did just want to end with kind of where we started the call today, and that is kind of an exhortation to build. That is what we are doing now. We've been working on this protocol for many years now, and in last quarter we launched launched mainnet, the ability to pledge storage and farm and earn coins. But beyond that, now we're like, how do we make that usable? How do we make it so that you all can build on it? And that is where our entire focus is well, not entire. We still got to keep the protocol moving, but it's where really the heart of the focus is going to is how do we enable the community to build, and even beyond that, how the next step, how we're going to enable agents to build, and these are the things we're thinking about for the future. So yeah, just an exhortation to get in and start start with these toy cases. I mean, they're fun. X is fun. It's fun to have these engagement on there, but I expect that we will move beyond toy cases to kind of hopefully driving the infrastructure that drives agents for the future. So is there anything anybody else would like to add before we sign off on here?
I just want to say watch this space from the community team, because we're planning to roll up our sleeves and have a go at creating some agents ourselves. Dog food in the framework, so it could get messy, but we'd love to have you along for the ride. More on that on Wednesday. I'll give Farmer Hours another little plug as well.
Great. Before we go, I guess I was just looking at the comments, and I see we actually do have people live on this today, so we appreciate that. Note taken that we should strengthen marketing. There's only 10 people on here, but this is new and experimental, but note taken. We will be reaching out to marketing with this message. Love the baby Ning. That's interesting. And Jim, people are glad to see you back after the holidays. So.
It's great to be back.
All right. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks.